Rev up your engine. I'm going to show you how to get rid of really horrible smells in your cars that you just can't get rid of. Now, getting rid of smells in your car can be a tricky business because the odor can permeate everything, especially the air duct system that blows heat and air conditioning in your face. It's not that easy to get inside there with any kind of sprays or cleaners, and if you're sensitive, read some of these cleaners. Use gloves. Do not inhale dust. Keep away from children. Harmful if swallowed. Not exactly stuff you want floating around in your car and then sticking to stuff. Even stuff like Lysol. Read the back of the can. It says things like known to cause cancer in California. This stuff can be dangerous for people that are trying to get rid of a smell. You don't want to just replace it with another smell. So if you have some serious smell in your car you can't get rid of, whether you bought a used car and a previous person smoked and the smoke smell has gone in everywhere and permeated the whole car, or in the case of my Celica, you forgot and left your window open and the neighbor's cat came inside and peed all over the place. Well, here is a serious cleaner that you can use to get rid of smells. Now I say serious, look at the sign. Use an unoccupied space only. You don't want to put it where anything that you want to remain alive to stay that way. This isn't one of those toy ozone generators that, oh, I'll get this ozone generator and I'll stick it in my car to freshen the air while I drive. You don't want to do that anyways, because here's what can happen. Years ago in our house, my wife and I mistakenly thought one of those air purifiers with an ozone generator was a good thing. So we'd run it at night so we're breathing in pure air. What, you spend like what, a third of your life sleeping. So good idea, breathe clean air. But now with an ozone generator, mysteriously my wife found out she kept getting headaches when she woke up in the morning. Well, it was the stupid ozone generators. They're not as strong as this one, but they're still creating ozone, and she ended up getting a headache from it. So when we unplugged it and threw them away, guess what? Her headaches went away. You only use one of these serious ozone generators to clean up an area where there's no living creatures that you want to continue to live living inside there. In the case of a car, I'm going to show you how it works. You have the windows rolled up. It's all just sealed inside. And what the ozone generator does, creates ozone using electricity. Ozone is O3. The oxygen in our atmosphere is relatively stable. The ozone, O3, is not. And what it does is it binds with all kinds of things so it can get rid of odors. It'll bind with it. It'll get rid of it. That's why you don't want the cat inside the car when you're doing this, because the ozone is made from the oxygen inside your car, and there won't be any oxygen left if it makes a whole bunch of ozone. Now, strangely enough, this also has one positive aspect to your car. Let's say you got spiders or cockroaches or ants in your car. It will kill them. They won't have any oxygen to breathe. So there is the benefit that it will get rid of bugs in your car. Now, I mean, if your car's full of food, new bugs will come in later to eat the food. But if somehow you have insects in your car, it will get rid of them. I did that years ago. My wife's old Toyota Cressida. For some reason, the leather seats had cracked and they had giant fissures in them like miniature Grand Canyons. And I put sheepskin covers over them. Somehow ants got in the car. And my wife said, something's weird in my car. And I take off the sheepskin cover and in all these giant cracks, there was an ant colony. They had eggs and everything. I mean, there were thousands of these things. All I had to do was stick this baby in, turn it on for about 40 minutes. When I was done, the ants were all dead. This got rid of them. And the real advantage of that is, we all know pesticides aren't good for people either. You spray bug spray inside your car to kill bugs, it'll kill the bugs, but over time it'll probably help kill you too. It's no good breathing that stuff in. They're not like a bug spray or a disinfectant spray like Lysol. The chemicals linger. All it does is create the ozone, and then later when you shut the machine off, open the windows, then regular air just comes in and there's no residues of anything. And since ozone is a gas, guess what? As long as it's circulated around, it'll get everywhere and get rid of all the smells and bugs. Doesn't matter what crack they're hiding in. If air gets in there, it'll get to them. And here's how easy it is to do. Just open your door, go inside, and start up your car. Then you want to make sure that your car is not on fresh air, but is on recirculated air turn the fan on. Make sure all the windows are rolled the whole way up, because then when you close the door, the air is just being recirculated throughout the car. All the ozone will be sucked inside the car, go through all the ducts, and it will neutralize odors, kill bugs. You can put it on a seat. In this case, it's pretty smelly. We'll turn it on for an hour, and there it is. It's now running. Now, as you can see, it plugs into the house electrics, but all cars have rubber molding, so you can just stick it in the bottom of the door and close it. That'll seal it perfectly fine. And now the ozone will be doing its thing for the next hour or so. The ozone will permeate everything. It'll go through. And since the ozone O3 is an unstable compound, it binds with all these smells. When you open the door, guess what? The smell's all gonna go out. Just remember, this is being done in a closed enclosure. When some people have really bad sewage problems, our houses were flooded out, professionals will come, and they can run ozone generators for maybe 48 hours to get rid of the smells. But you don't want anything inside the house that you don't want to be not alive when the thing's done. So all your pets, people, babies, even your mother-in-law, you want to make sure that they're not inside the house. We people and animals need oxygen mixed with nitrogen in our air that we breathe in. If we breathe in only ozone, it doesn't work with our blood. So you make sure that there's nothing inside the car. You just let it sit sealed, unrecirculated, so it keeps recirculating the ozone to get rid of all the odors. And of course, if you have a really bad odor emanating from bad things in your car, use your head, remove the source of the odor. I'll never forget when I was a young mechanic. Somebody brought their car and they said it smelled. It was 5 minutes to 10. We closed at 10 o'clock at night. So I brought the woman's car into the garage, locked up the garage, and went home on my motorcycle. And the next day, my grandfather, who opened up at 6 o'clock in the morning, when I came in at 9, he said, "What did you do last night? It stinks in here." I said, "Well, that lady says something smelled in her car. Let's figure out what it is." So we put it up in a lift, couldn't find anything in the bottom, looked under the seats, couldn't find anything. But then, when we popped the trunk, woo! Out came a gigantic plume of flies. Had forgotten when she went to the grocery store a bag that had frozen shrimp in them. Now this was July, so needless to say, the shrimp wasn't frozen anymore. And even though you think your car's sealed and your trunk is sealed, it's not as sealed as you might think. Somehow, flies got inside, laid their eggs, and there were maggots all over the place, and it stunk. So of course, we had to remove that rotten bag, which of course fell apart because in those days it was a paper bag. Once we got that out, a lot of the smell went away. But the car itself, it still smelled for even months later when she came back. Well, today, I would have just emptied out that shrimp. I would have put the ozone generator in for an hour or so, and then see what happens. And if I had to repeat the process a few times, no big deal. Now back to the car we're cleaning. It's been enough time. The machine has shut itself off, so we just open the doors and turn the car off. And of course, open the other door. Now the ozone will dissipate by itself, but you can hasten it all by putting a fan in. That way the ozone will all blow out of the car. The problem with the ozone is, of course, we can't breathe ozone, like I said earlier. So you don't do this and then jump in your car and drive away. You air it out a while. Guess what? Now it's all gonna blow out. Great, you know? And to even make that work better, here's another trick. Start up the car again. And now, put it on fresh air, full blast. And with it on fresh air, the outside air will be sucked in and blow through the ducts and blow any ozone that's in the ducts out, which will then come out of the vents, and this fan will blow it away. If you have a sensitivity to various cleaners like Lysol or evaporator spray cleaner or any kind of cleaner, you're not going to be bothered by this ozone treatment. Because, like I said, there's nothing lingering except the ozone itself, which is blown out. It's a gas. Like a solid Lysol spray where there's residues in there. It's just a gas that blows away with a fan. And let's say you're one of those sensitive people. Hey, give it an hour with the fan blowing and the blower sucking fresh air in and sending it out. There will not be any residual ozone to bother you. 26-year-old car that the neighbor's cat peed in. Now it's fresh and there's no more smells. This ozone cleaning isn't masking the smell with a perfume. It's using the O3 ozone to bond with the smells in the car and then removing them. And also removing any bugs that might be in there. Now you're gonna have to pick the bugs up. They'll be dead falling down somewhere. Get a vacuum cleaner or something, but remember, heed the warning. Use only in unoccupied spaces. Don't run this thing with anybody around. Have it all sealed up. It's like a fumigation unit, only it's a fumigation unit to get rid of unwanted odors in your car. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.